Hey guys, Dennis here, Muddy Water Search and Recovery, and reading some of the comments real quick. I bet they wouldn't be late for supper. Sometimes I actually am. Ozark, adventuring the Ozark Taps Foot. Yeah, we are late again, and Alex will be jumping on here shortly. Chrissy's not going to be joining us tonight. She is at home sick. And speaking of sickness, we have been going bouts with the flu around here. Brantley had it a week and a half ago. Last Sunday night, I wasn't feeling good. By Monday night, me and Megan and Chrissy's mom was sick. Their mom was actually hospitalized overnight. She's back home. She's doing better, but still a long ways to go. Megan got sick Friday and she's starting to feel better. So it has been just a sick bandwagon over here this week. And with that, Saturday night, we planned on live streaming a Christmas special, and we are having to make some changes. We're not going to be able to live stream it, but we will be doing it as a video. Vitamin D3. I have been taking, I think, every vitamin known to man recently. But guys, thank you for joining us tonight. Again, Alex just jumped on. Let me get him added over here to the stream real quick. There he is.
What's going on?
I was late again, Alex.
That's all right.
We had, let's see, we had Boots tapping. Dan said everyone's grounded, go to their rooms.
What?
Oh, man.
How's everybody feeling over there at your place this evening?
Let's see. Brantley still got the cough going. Megan and I keep getting the temperatures still. Their mom's doing a lot better than she was. And Chrissy has gotten sick today.
Oh, no. I think just everybody's getting this. It's just going around and just doesn't seem to want to stop.
I know the hospitals, when they took their mom in, was just completely backed up. The only hospital around here that had an opening that could take her was St. John's here locally. And then they had to transfer her out to Kansas City, Kansas. The backlog with the EMT service was so far that it took 10 hours to get an EMT available to transfer her. But they said the flu, and there's like 10 different stomach bugs going around right now that's got everything going crazy, and RSV's going around.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's and like today it was crazy because I got up in the middle of the night, and I don't know, it was probably about 4:30 this morning, and I had to go work on a job today, and I looked out the window and it looked like it had snowed.
Yeah.
I looked at my phone and it showed we were like in a severe fog warning, dense fog warning. So evidently the fog was so thick that it just froze to the ground and froze on the trees, and it looked like it had snowed, and we had an ice storm. But I got up and left, and it just was bone-chilling cold. I mean, it's just crazy how the weather's flipping back and forth so much, and people are getting sick, and then they're getting better, and then they're getting sick, and I just wish it would either stay cold till springtime or just stay normal. That this it's just terrible, this flipping back and forth constantly.
And had people at work telling me they got the flu right after Thanksgiving, and they're just now really recovering from it.
Yeah, it's been bad. I mean, when I was out today, I was wearing, and today I think it got up to 40, maybe 39. I don't, maybe it didn't get to 40. It was supposed to get to 45, but I had on insulated work pants, and I had on a t-shirt, a long sleeve t-shirt, a thermal insulate, you know, shirt, plus a heavy duty thick Carhartt sweatshirt. And I had on my gloves and I had on my stocking cap, and I was still freezing. So
And Barb, I did get your text about the FedEx driver, and looking into that, this is the little girl, I believe, in Texas that had went missing. Turned out the FedEx driver took her. They found her remains. The FedEx driver was saying that he had accidentally run over her. And reading into that, he said it injured her, but it didn't kill her. And he panicked and ended up killing her. And I did read reports that law enforcement was questioning that with him, and just very sad situation with that.
yeah, it's it's there's days when I see things in life that make you think that humanity's making changes, when, especially around the holiday time, when people help other people out, and different things that go on, and then you see these terrible, horrific, situations with people and children. It's just heartbreaking. I just I wish it all would go away. I wish, stuff would change. But unfortunately, there's always going to be bad with the good, and there's always going to be good with the bad. And, you know how it is. I mean, it's just the way it is. And it's just sad. It's sad that, so many young people's lives are taken, whether they are murdered or, kidnapped and taken away from their other, their parents, their loved ones, and just the amount of children, that go murdered and stuff. It's just terrible. And that's kind of a discussion that, some people have had here lately is, statistically, what is the statistics on children who are murdered by their parents? Statistically, what are the statistics of children who are murdered by family members outside of the actual home? A mother and a father, but aunts, uncles, grandparents, and it's pretty sad. I mean, statistically, it's higher than you think it is. You know,
Seeing with that thought right there, a while back ago, you brought up how many times you've got so many missing teens from the same area, the same time frame. And we've been kind of digging into that a little bit. And early this coming year, we will be doing a full video breaking all of that down. But it's going to be interesting to see the statistics you're talking about there.
Yeah.
Put into that. I mean, there are so many of them.
That's one of our many projects at Muddy Waters that we discuss about doing. And, like I had hoped this week that I would have been able to hop on and, do the live where we talk about the past week's missing children and adults out of Kansas and Missouri. But I have literally been swamped day in and day out. And it's just been crazy. I'm trying to get a job completed for a friend, and I was digging electrical service till dark tonight. I've been on it for 2 days, almost, I think, 550 feet now, 4 feet deep, digging through tree roots and rocks. And swamped with stuff going on in life and trying to nail these projects out that it's hard. It's really hard. We've a while back we had discussed we wanted to do the Legend of Randy Leach. We wanted to do a documentary type situation, and we still have that. That's still on the list to do. We've wanted to do the situation with his car and the experiments. I'm still looking for a car. We've wanted to do the statistics on the children who go missing day in and day out. And there's lots of, there was a discussion a couple days ago on one of the Facebook pages. It might have been Kansas Missing and Unsolved or another one, but I made a comment and a couple people, we'd gone back and forth. And what makes me sick about, I guess that's not the right word to use. The right word would be with the KBI website. There's so many children that go missing now all of a sudden. And is it children who are in foster care that get up and leave in the middle of the night? Is it children that are at a children's home or a foster care situation that just take off and run? Is it children who honestly are just vanish because of a foul play situation? And I've seen lots of comments and I've looked it up because that's kind of what I do. And when I look at cases and stuff, I will go on Facebook and I will try to find this person. And then I will try to track it and I will Google search it. So, and there's lots of times that I find children who were missing for a couple weeks who were just found a few days ago, and the KBI website doesn't update it. And then I think you have personally ran into a situation where there's been a child who has ran away from home multiple times, time after time after time. And, that's a really hard thing to work with and try to update and, getting the word out about this. But, when stuff is handed down to you from a higher up source, but the information isn't up to date or correct, it does make it hard in those situations. But we've got so many projects, that we want to try to accomplish and tackle and, help get the word out to the public, and hopefully next year, in 2023, one of our objectives is try to be out in the public more, where we are boots on the ground with the public at like county fairs or some type of events where we can hand out flyers and we have a booth set up and we can help get the word out. Because we're always welcome to people who do know someone that they have a lost one or a friend who do need help, and they can always reach out to us at any given time, and there's times where someone that will send me something and be like, hey, this person's missing out of Kansas City, Kansas, or hey, this person's missing out of New York, and we try to reach out and help anybody and everybody. Physically, it is impossible to go and search long ways away because of, our everyday lives, but at least we make a 100% effort to help get the word out and keep it in the public's eye.
In Adventuring the Ozarks said, we made contact with the young man's grandparents. He was missing out of Elizabeth, Arkansas. Following his profile on NamUs, we were able to make contact with the family, and turns out he answered the phone.
Oh, wow.
Seeing, going back to the one you said had run away multiple times that we were covering, there was one in particular, 3 different times this young man had run away. And what was incredible to me is we done our normal case layout, getting that case out in the public eye. And it was less than a week. Somebody down in southern Arkansas saw the video and recognized him as being across the street from him.
Oh, wow.
And that helped get him home. A week later, he goes missing again. This time, somebody in Oklahoma saw the video and recognized him and got him home again. And then this person took off a third time. And the third time, this individual actually started commenting on the video that we put up on him. And at that point, he was just a week or so from 18. And after he hit 18, they did find that he may have come from an abusive situation where he was and was trying to get away from that. But getting the videos out on missing people like that, it's proven that it works. We've had multiple cases that turned out to be runaways that people have seen the videos, recognized them, and was able to get them back home. And one of those, this person, they did have some mental health issues and very easily could have went to a suicide situation. That's where it was heading. But somebody saw the video and recognized them. They were able to go out, get the person, get them the help needed, and that person is doing great today. Wow. So getting the cases out in the public eye definitely helps.
Yeah, I mean, you know, anything and everything helps. It doesn't matter if it's just a piece of paper that somebody's printed off and you ask, you know, it's kind of like I do with the TikTok videos. You know, I ask everybody, please share this with all your social media outlets that you're on, you know, share it with your friends and family. Because, you know, all it does take is one simple time for someone sharing something that it could bring somebody home. You know, somebody could have seen something. They could have seen the car that's missing. They could have seen, you know, a child or an adult that looks like this person, you know, with somebody in the situation didn't look right. You know, all it takes is that one time, you know, to help. So I'm actually on the KBI site right now. So just real quick while we're here talking. So today is the 11th. So I'm going to put in from last Sunday, the 4th, and I'm putting into today. So I'm going to search all of Kansas. Let's see how many people have gone missing. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. We have 40 people in the last 7 days in the state of Kansas that have gone missing. I'm on KBI's website right now. So literally, and it's sad, you know, and a lot of them, you know, Sedgwick County, 15 years old, 16-year-old, another 15-year-old, a 19-year-old, you know, okay. Now here's a different one. Now we're gonna talk about it right now while we're on. So right here is Michael. I'm gonna say Cabal. He is 62 years old. He is white, male, 6 foot tall, 195 pounds. Date last seen was 12/9, so just a couple days ago. So basically, you know, we have a 62-year-old. So on the first page, everybody, this is the first 10 people. So 14, 14, 17, 17, 14, 62, 16, 15, 15, and 19. That's just on the first page. So that kind of gives everybody an idea of these age ranges. Okay, so now I'm on the second page. So the first one that comes up is Roger Hill, age 55, 5'9", 200 pounds. Date last seen today. That's what it shows. And he's missing from Wyandotte County. So when we go back, we have 55, 16, 15, 15, 17, 30. So here we have a 30-year-old lady, and her name is Kimberly. It said Kimberly Core, but when I click on it, it changes it to Marissa Hoyt. And she's 30, white, 5'8", and she's been missing since the 8th. Once again, just a couple days ago. And then we have a 42-year-old, Phoenix Krill, white, female, 5'2", 130 pounds. And she is missing from Lyon County. So then we have a 17-year-old. And then look here. Here's a 41-year-old out of Wyandotte County. Nicole Lee, 41. She is black, 5'1", and she's been missing since 12/5. So, and then we have another 16-year-old. The majority of all the young children that are teenagers that are missing, they are all from Sedgwick County. They all are from the Wichita, Kansas area, basically. And a perfect comment that Jen just made. I'm looking at the same page you are. KBI doesn't offer much information. No, they're very, very just, there's nothing. The majority of them do not have a picture. There's nothing like, did they disappear from their house? Were they in foster care? Were they kidnapped? Did they leave with a relative? And they're very vague. And I don't understand. I don't understand why they're so vague. You would think that they would give you at least one paragraph that would basically tell you some information. And they just don't. So I'm on page number 3 now. And we have a 14-year-old, a 17-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 17-year-old. And then we have a 31-year-old out of the Wichita area, Gabriel Morgan. So he's 31, white, 5'7", male. He's been missing since 12/8, and there's actually a photo of this guy. So there's a 15-year-old, a 19-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 17-year-old. Does this catch anybody else odd? To me, it's odd. And, that question comes down to, are these young children, what is going on? Why is there so many young children from Sedgwick County, which is the Wichita area? Why is there so many young children? Is there a humongous foster situation going on down there? Homeless children? What's everybody's thought on this? I'm literally reading it off to you. You're hearing the ages, 16, 17, 17, 18, 19, 16, 15, 15. This is just craziness. And it's sad. It's just unbelievably sad to me. But when we go back and we look, so we're just going to search. We're going to go January 1st or January, and we're going to go the 1st, and we're going to go 2022, and we are going to today's date. So let's see how many children have been missing since the first day of this year. So we have 310, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We have 315 souls that are listed on the KBI website this year that at some point were listed as missing. Now, whether or not they are going in and updating once a month or every 6 months, or maybe they only do it once a year. But as of right now, I mean, you heard it. There's that many people missing.
I'm going to jump over in the comments real quick. OK Diver, I believe that's for Oklahoma Diver, found 30 cars underwater. All have been dove on and cleared. They finally found a record company that wants to help remove. So hopefully we'll be posting videos about them soon. OK Diver, and I believe it's Oklahoma Diver. And then Adventuring the Ozark Search Team. That is 2 teams out there that are searching. They're doing a lot of great work out there. And we had the link to their YouTube channels down in the video description. So make sure to go over and check them out, subscribe to their channel, and they're doing some really great things.
I see a couple people making comments. I mean, it does. It sounds like there's some sex trafficking going on. And we have discussed that scenario before. And this was one of the things that, you know, Tammy and I had discussed about, and we had discussed about with you all is there functioning events in the state of Kansas, whether it's sports related, whatever, some type of events that there's tremendous amounts of people, you know, can we look at the dates of these children who are going missing and look at the dates of, and I'm not saying this is what's happening. This is just us talking. But is there children going missing while there's football games going on, baseball games, NASCAR events? You know, can you put 2 and 2 together and come up with 4, you know, by looking at the dates? Because to me, there's just something wrong. I mean, it blows my mind that there's this. I mean, and like we've talked about, if you go back just a few years and on the KBI's website, you can search, you can put in dates. You can do whatever you want. You can put in by the county, you know, age range. You can break it down. And we've discussed it before. In 1988, Randy was the only person to be listed on the KBI's website as missing. You know, and years after that, there was only a handful of people coming, you know, that would go missing, you know. But when you get up to the last 2 or 3 years, it went, I want to say one night I was doing it and I was writing it all down and trying to just get a general idea. But I think 2 or 3 years ago, there was still only like 30 people who went missing. And then all of a sudden it jumped to like 200. And then it was like 300. And then, you know, did this all start? I know this is stupid to even say this, but did this all really start getting out of control when COVID hit? Because, you know, we're going into 2 years, but basically on the downhill side of it. But why all of a sudden would all this just start, you know, and we start losing these kids like this? It is not a problem. I'm not saying it's not a problem, but in the state of Missouri, it's nothing like it is in the state of Kansas. And I don't know, you know, what's going on. I can kind of say that when I look at Missouri's stuff, the people that are missing are older. It's not, you know, teenagers up to their early 20s is the majority of the people that are missing. So
now, Missouri, it isn't theirs on the Highway Patrol's website?
Yes, it is. And also, I believe if I'm correct, on the Missouri Highway Patrol website, there is also a section that if you dig around, you can come to an area where it has unidentified remains. And there will either be pictures of like, a deceased person that has certain tattoos or had on a certain kind of shoes or article clothing. So on that Missouri Highway Patrol site, there is an area that you can look at stuff like that too.
$40 kids in Wisconsin are missing. Dan says there's still 220 kids still unaccounted for in Kansas. And Jennifer has a good point here. You would think if there's a possible tracking or trafficking connection that law enforcement would issue a service announcement, but it doesn't happen anywhere. Earlier this year, we had the case out of Texas. Young girl went missing. It was automatically put out that she was a runaway. Turns out they ended up finding her here in Kansas and she was being trafficked. And that's the number one reason I don't like the runaway classification is it changes the whole dynamic of the investigation, and it's looked at different as a runaway versus an abduction or something like that, and takes longer to get the word out on those cases and to get it out past the state the child goes missing in. And in hers, I mean, it turned out they were seen at a gas station getting gas, and she was seen there with two older individuals, and nobody thought anything, and nobody had heard anything about it in that area. But she was found here in Kansas being trafficked from Texas.
It's sad. It's something that if more people knew what was going on, I think more parents would probably be, and I hate to say this word, but preaching to their children about being safe, about, make sure, I couldn't say the correct words to make it sound right, but, make sure you're hanging out with the right people. Don't hang out with the wrong people. Don't go with a friend who gets in a stranger's car because that friend knows them or some, BS malarkey. Basically use your head. Try to use common sense about situations. And I know it's hard. We were all teenagers and kids at one time and did stupid stuff. And I know it's hard to sit there and preach the right things to do when the majority of us didn't do it in the right place to begin with. But, I mean, there's just, I would think that if more parents knew about these scenarios, that they could sit down and show these children about, look at this. And I can give you another example of that scenario. So, growing up, my dad, so my grandpa was in the agricultural world after World War II. He worked for John Deere for a little bit, and then he went to work for Massey Ferguson, and he worked for Massey Ferguson and then retired from Massey Ferguson in the 70s. So my dad, when he was right out of high school, my dad worked for Massey Ferguson here in the Kansas City area when they had a plant here that my grandpa was running. And basically we had this, we always used to go to all the antique tractor shows and stuff and the steam engine shows. And it was because of, that type of industry, for a long time when my grandpa would go. So one time we were in Iowa at a steam engine show, and there was the highway patrol was there, and it was a drunk driving tent, and it was horrific. It was a tent for parents to take their children into and it was nothing but 8x12, 8x11 photographs of dead people from drinking and driving accidents. And it was one of those scare your teenager straight situations, like don't drink and drive. This is what's going to happen. And I did. My dad walked me through it, and it was horrific looking at these pictures, especially when I was an early teenager, probably, and I think this was probably 88 or 89 when we were at this show. But, if parents could show their children some type of situation like that with how many kids are missing, maybe make children think twice about some of the situations they get themselves into or they put themselves into, and the possibility that, hey, you might not come home. You got to use your head a little better and just, be defensive about protecting yourself and your friends. And, that kind of, we can go back to Randy with that. We really can, because Randy had a lot of friends at the party, and how did Randy just slip out of everybody's eyesight that night? And that's a hard thing to think about.
Seeing Darlene Jones Nelson commented earlier, multiple friends have been stalked through Walmart and Target with kids in their carts. And there's a lot of reports of that going on. And that's something that we could all be proactive about, is keeping an eye anytime that we're out in public like that. Keeping an eye out, helping other parents, make sure nobody's following them and their kids. And if you see something like that, definitely say something. Don't second guess it. I would rather be wrong and say something than to not say something and that kid go missing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy. The stuff that happens these days, it's just. So I'm on the Missouri Highway Patrol site. So we're going to look on here what's been going on. So I'll let you talk for a minute while I get this going, Dennis.
Seeing Alex has brought up with me not long ago, possibly doing a second live feed, and kind of doing what he's doing tonight is going in and breaking down the missing cases that are listed with the KBI and the Missouri Highway Patrol. And I am definitely on board with that, because any attention these cases can get can really, really help in those cases.
Okay, well, my mind has been blown because I have not been on the Missouri State Highway Patrol page. So I just did the same thing that I did on Kansas. I put in a week from last Sunday to this Sunday, and there is 63 children and adults have gone missing in the state of Missouri in the last 7 days. Wow. I mean, like right here, we have Michael Vaughn Atkins, male, white, been missing since 12/7, born in 1957, missing from St. Joe, Missouri. They do it a little different here. They don't tell you the actual date. They just say missing since and the date of birth. Wow. So we'll just read off some of the counties here while we're on here for a minute. So we've got Clayton, Missouri, Glendale, Missouri, St. Joe, Missouri, Potosi, Springfield, Missouri, Blue Springs, Missouri, St. Joe, Missouri, Clayton, Missouri, Greenwood, Missouri, O'Fallon, Missouri, Lee Summit, St. Louis, Joplin, Liberty, Clayton, St. Charles, Florissant, Ashland, Clayton, Hillsboro, Columbia, St. Missouri, Poplar Bluff, Independence, Missouri, Marshall, Willard, Kirksville, Hazelwood, Aurora, Lewis. Wow, here's another one from St. Joe. This is St. Louis, West Plains, Hillsboro, Clayton, Hannibal, Columbia. Wow, another St. Joe. That's interesting. I haven't seen that many people go missing out of the St. Joe area.
No.
That is strange. I mean, there's a lot like Clayton, Missouri. Wow, here's another one from St. Joe. Oh, and another one. Wow. I'm not trying to be like excited. The times that I've always looked at this, I've never seen it like that. And there's another one from now some of these now here's something you'll notice. The 12-6, 12-6. Let me go. Okay, so right here, the last 3 or 4 people out of St. Joe, Missouri, they've all gone missing in the same day. So then you got to go down the rabbit hole and try to figure out, well, what's going on? Were all these people together? Did all these kids leave together in a car and go somewhere and run away from home and are on the run? You know, situations like that. So, yeah, it's just crazy. But on that, somewhere, if I can find it while I'm on here, because I found it by mistake one day, is where you can see the remains. Unidentified persons. Okay, so if you're on the Missouri Highway Patrol and you see where the missing persons are, if you go below it, there's a section that says unidentified persons, active unidentified search results. Now, I'm just warning you, there is some images of deceased people, but the majority of it is like tattoos, stuff like that. That's what the majority is, or it'll show an article of clothing. But it talks about, when you look at it, so the very first one, it says location found near US 60 in Shannon County, Missouri. Tattoos, yes. So there is 2 pictures of the tattoos on this deceased person's body. Date body was found 12/26 of 2021. Estimated age 39 to 59 years old. Estimated year of birth 1962 through 82. Estimated date of death 12/23/2021. She is a female. Race is unknown. Hair was black. Height was 4'10" to 5'4". Weight was 160 to 185 pounds. So if you click on the actual pictures, there's actual pictures of the tattoos.
And Alex, Barb here has a good question. Do you have any advice for a mom who has special needs children on how to prepare them and teach them?
I don't. I honestly don't. I do have a friend. I've been friends with them for a few years, and they have a special needs child. He is, I want to say he is 15 or 16 years old now, and he's a good kid. He's a Down syndrome. Um, he's very big. He's very, very muscular and strong. Um, and I know that his mother and his father, have tried to teach him things, and he has had some issues at school with other children bullying him, stuff like that. I don't know. That's a situation that I've talked with his dad, and I've discussed with him. I'm like, how does? And he just looks at me and he goes, "I have to take care of him till we die. I don't believe he will ever be able to live on his own." So, trying to talk to those children and try to teach them, I honestly don't know. I really don't know what the correct way to try to let them understand what type of situations they could be in with other kids at school, or activities, if they're out with other kids doing activities. I really don't know. I really don't have an answer. I mean, all you can do is your best, and hopefully you have other children who can help teach that child and show guidance and help that child that does have the special needs have some guidance and learn somehow. I mean, that's really a tough question. I'm sorry I don't have a better answer for you.
And Jennifer says that, Barb, my daughter is now an adult, but she has special needs. I might have some advice for you, but are we talking nonverbal, or how high functioning are we talking about? And Barb and Jen, I've spoken with both of these ladies. It would be really good if you two got in contact. That would really help.
Yeah.
Jen is very, very knowledgeable in pretty much everything.
Yes, she is. Yeah. Super nice lady. Does unbelievable work to, help us out and help everybody she helps out. We're very thankful to have her being a part of all this. She is an asset for sure to anything and everything that we do. And, if anybody else, I'm sure she would be more than happy to reach out and, give some advice and stuff like that. I'm sure she would do it in a heartbeat if you ask.
Yeah, very good person. Jen says, that's why I'm so tired now. I lived through a lot. LOL.
Oh, wow. So, if people get a chance, if you go to the KBI, the Kansas Bureau of Investigation's website, go to the missing people's part. You, like I said, you can get on there and search. You can change the search criteria, from, you can look at county by county, the whole state in whole, and break it down by dates. Like, I kind of went over, on the Missouri Highway Patrol site, once again, they do it a little bit different. And I can tell you that sometimes the Missouri Highway Patrol site does have more pictures, but you can search through that. And then, you can go to the unidentified search results, and then you can look at stuff where they have found skeletal remains, body parts. And you can look through all that. And I've had days where it's rained and I couldn't do nothing, or I was hurting, and just, sitting on the computer, and I would start looking at missing peoples in a certain area. I would look at the dates they were missing, and then I would go back to the unidentified search results, and I would look at those dates and those remains, and I would try to put it together and, and look, and, it's really interesting. And also something that's different is on the Missouri Highway Patrol. They already have pre-made posters, missing people's posters. You can look at that. You can also look at the posters for the unidentified search results. There's posters for some of the people too that the remains have been found. So it's very interesting. It really is.
Seeing another place you could find posters for Kansas and Missouri and even multiple other states is Kansas Missing and Unsolved. They make the flyers as well, and they share those on their live feeds and on their social media pages. But we also had the link to their YouTube channel down in the video description. But they have made tons of flyers.
Yes.
And that's something I'm looking into doing this year. We talked about it earlier this year, but that is the missing persons, printing up some flyers for them, sending it to businesses in those areas, get those businesses to hang them up and help spread word through that as well.
And there is another site that we can talk about, and that is NamUs. NamUs is at namus.com, I believe. And that's another site that people should check out. If it will load up correctly.
Seeing Crystal Bowling's comment, I think schools need to teach on it more, and all my kids should at least get sound alarms issued by the schools. I do think the schools could do a lot more to help bring awareness about.
Yeah. School is a lot different these days. I think the way they teach our youth today is so much different. And sometimes I feel that they think our youth is a lot smarter, maybe has more common sense, and maybe they don't put the effort into trying to teach them, what was one of the terms that I heard? I think it was, what was it called? Stranger danger, something like that. Who has kids that are in school right now who are with us tonight? Is that something that's ever talked about strangers, and don't get into somebody's car if you stuff like that? Do they still teach that stuff in school by some way or form? Does anybody know if they do that?
I know Shy or Brantley, neither one had mentioned that.
Did I lose y'all?
Your video popped off for just a second.
I had a phone call coming in.
There you are. And Jennifer says, I'm going to post this publicly because I think it's just good general information. Have you heard of parents using a safe phrase, something used that tells the kids that the person actually did? Darlene says, I have grandkids and they do not in Wisconsin. Yeah, that is something that should still be taught in schools. And Crystal says some departments do not use NamUs or not very up to date. And Crystal, remember the hand signal that saved a girl? That was awesome. Alex, you're muted. Hey, Leanne, how are you doing?
How about now?
There you go.
My bad. Thank you, Leanne. I'm reading the comments too.
Jennifer says, get your son used to not leaving your side or family side unless they hear that signal or a signal touch is used. I mean, that's really good idea.
Yeah.
Leanne's got the flu as well.
Oh no. Sorry you're going through that, Leanne. I know it's been going through everybody we know.
I hope you feel better soon. So, guys, yeah, there will be a new live feed coming soon that is going to cover the different cases like that, try to get more attention put on those cases and bring awareness about. And
Yeah.
we had been talking about having a second live feed going and was, I guess, kind of lost on where to go with it, but I think that's a great idea to do and to bring awareness to those.
Yeah. If if we can just share it, that's what matters. Just getting the word out. Um, doing the stuff with StreamYard and learning how to do this. Sooner or later I'll figure it out like you have, and hopefully be able to add pictures and flip the camera around and show people what I'm looking at so they can look it up and understand it. So hopefully I can get on that this week. So, but basically what we just talked about over the last 30 minutes between the two sites, and hopefully we can start making it a weekly thing, and just try to get the word out and help people. That's what counts, because like we've said before, it just takes that one time of sharing something, or getting someone else to share it could make the difference in somebody's life and bringing someone home.
And Jennifer says she'd be happy to help show you how.
Thank you, dear.
And going back up to Adventuring the Ozarks, they had commented about networking with other channels and teams to help these families find answers and to help the environment. And do want to say that this coming year, you're going to see us work with several different teams that are out there. This is going to include on the ground search efforts. It's going to include live streams where we bring other teams on with us to discuss certain cases, try to find locations of interest to get searched, and just discuss those cases with you guys. So you're going to be seeing us work with several different teams this coming year, and I'm really looking forward to that. And Adventuring the Ozarks being one of them. Just Joshua and his wife, super great people, and really looking forward to that.
Yes.
I mean, I think the more that the teams can network, I think that greaters the odds of finding people. As you mentioned earlier, some of these cases are in states that are far from us, and we don't know when we would be able to get there to search. But we have cases in those areas, and we have search locations lined up in those cases. So we're going to be looking for different teams that are in those areas that would be willing to go do the search. We will get them the information we have just to try to get those properties searched a lot quicker and hopefully bring answers to those families a lot quicker. So you're going to see us working with other teams and networking with other teams a lot this coming year. And hopefully that helps bring answers about. Because right now, we've got 91 what we call open active cases that we're working on. We have a list of search locations that we're working on, and we've got about 30 cases right now that we've got search locations for, with around 120 different properties that need searched across the United States. So being able to network and work with other teams like that, that's going to get these areas checked off a lot quicker. And this number is likely going to double or triple by the end of January as far as locations. So the more we can network with other teams and other teams come together like that, the more areas are going to get searched. Joshua with Adventuring the Ozarks just told me last night that they have around 65 cases that they're working on.
Wow.
I mean, there are so many missing people. So hopefully networking with other teams, and hopefully even more teams will come in on that. And hopefully this can bring about answers.
Yeah. Did you get the message from Tammy the other night about the place that we had searched for Mary and
Billy and Mary Black?
Yes.
Yeah, that it's really dry.
Yes. So if I have a slow day this week, I might head up that way, or my electrician friend, his brother lives up there, and he told us at dinner Friday night about it. So maybe I can get him to send us some pictures and see how really low it is, because he made it sound like it's like 3/4 dry.
Oh, wow.
Whole main channel, there's just a little bit in the center that has any water in it. I mean, I know there's lots of places that have dried up big time, but that would be an eye-opener to just physically get up there and drive around and maybe use the binoculars or the drone or something and look. because it's not that big of an area of water to begin with.
Right. Because we were able to clear that image that we thought was a vehicle that was farm equipment, but the lake itself, we weren't able to call clear. That still needed to be searched.
That is true.
So to be able to complete that, we would either find something or we'd be able to finally completely mark that area clear.
Yes.
Oklahoma Divers has let me know, and I will go search them. Awesome. Chaos Divers. Jacob with Chaos Divers, I gladly admit he has been one of my number one inspirations for this, not only in his skills of what he's doing, but in the respect that he shows the families and the missing loved ones. And he has been just a huge inspiration. His team has several recoveries they've made and just always seems so respectful.
Yeah.
And Crystal says, speaking of NamUs, Folsom or Bishop is not on it.
I'm pretty sure. Are they on? They're on KBI though, right?
Right. I believe so.
I'm gonna look right now. So yeah, Everett Bishop. Current age, he would be 67. Age when went missing was 35. White, 6'2", 170 pounds. Black hair, hazel colored eyes. Date last seen was 5/26/1990. And that is Everett Bishop. And then what was the other one? Folsom?
Yeah, Lloyd Folsom.
How do you spell his last name? Do you remember the correct way to spell it?
I want to say Folsum.
No. You remember what year it was he went missing? Was it 1990, the same year?
Oh, man. Hey, Mark, do you remember what year he went missing? Mark has a lot of the information on that case.
Well, I can search Leavenworth County.
Yeah, it might be SOM. Mark said 89 or 90.
He's not on there. He's not. So while we got everybody on here and we've been talking about this, so we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We have 15 people that has gone missing in Leavenworth County, according to KBI. And Randy is the oldest case.
Okay, and Jennifer said it's FOLSOM. She just checked that. And Mark said that he went missing shortly before Skeet Bishop went missing.
Yeah, he's not on. He's not on Kansas on KBI. And did someone say he was or was not on NamUs?
He was not.
No. So I wonder
And,
why. I wonder why he's not listed anywhere.
and Jennifer brought up it could be because there was convictions in the cases.
That's
Montgomery blamed Folsom's murder on Skeet Bishop.
interesting.
And Crystal couldn't find either one on NamUs. Now, Jennifer asked, now is Randy the oldest on there because the leeches kept the case alive, or is he literally the oldest unsolved missing person on there?
He is the oldest unsolved case in Leavenworth County, but not in Kansas as a state. Because I've seen people on KBI, if I can, let me see if I can go back and just pull this off again. So if you go to demographics and you search age now and you put 50 to 100 years old, 50 to 99, there is right, let's go 01/01/ let's just say 1925. Let's go 01/01/ let's do 19. Let's just do 1975. So, yeah, there's one missing from 1968 out of Sedgwick County, Charles Mansker. And then there's Tommy Dixon, who went missing in 1974. But there's some other ones. Maybe I'm not putting in how I found it last time, but I want to say there was one or two people that went missing in 62, 3, I think. They were well over 100 years old. But that's that's one neat thing about this website is being able to really search and break it down.
Jennifer asked, could there be more in Leavenworth just didn't upload the cases? I mean, that's possible.
Are you there?
There you are.
Yeah, that's my brother calling. I'm gonna have to call him back here in a few minutes. So when you search 1965 through 1980, there is 6 cases. There is a boy missing. Date last seen was February 18th, 1977, and he was 4 years old. Jeremy Coots, Coots. So he would be 50 years old now. When he went missing when he was 4. There's Tommy Dixon, Charles Mansker, Diana Powell. She went missing. She was 32 years old when she went missing on July 16th, 1979. And she went missing from Wyandotte County. There's Robert Tippett. He was 36 when he went missing on January 1st, 1980, out of Shawnee County. He would be 79 years old now. And then there's Beverly Ward. She was 13 years old when she went missing on July 4th, 1978. She was 13, and she would be 57 years old. And she's missing from Gary County. And I honestly do not know where Gary County is in the state of Kansas.
Do you know where that is?
I can look it up. Can you look it up?
Yeah.
You mean like Gary, G-E-A?
Well, hey, I'm going to have to jump off here and call him back. So, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I hate to run on you all, but he's called me multiple times in a row, so I better make sure he's okay and stuff. So I will catch you all later. Okay.
All right. You take it easy.
All right. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
It's out by Fort Riley, Junction City.
Okay.
Manhattan.
And Jen, yeah, Junction City, Fort Riley, Manhattan, it's all out in that area. And Craig, Manhattan, yeah. So guys, this coming year, we kind of spoke on it a little bit. We have the new live feed coming that Alex is going to be doing with you guys that's going to cover those missing cases. We'll be doing the networking and working with other teams this year. Several teams right now already lining up to do this, which has been incredible. And we're not going to go away from what we do here. We will still continue digging into the cases and doing the live feeds with you guys. But you're also going to see us transition more to the searching side of it this spring. We've got multiple areas, even here locally, we will be out on. And a lot of properties starting to open up for us than a lot of public areas that we will be able to get on anyway. But guys, we're going to go ahead and call it a night as well. The next open discussion live feed will be January 8th, I believe it is. Got Christmas coming up and New Year's. So January 8th will be the next open live feed. If something comes up, we got to get out to you guys. We'll still do a video or jump on live with you. Another video coming out very soon. We're going to recap everything from this year and go into more with the coming year. And that will be out before Christmas. And then we will have a Christmas video come out this coming weekend. So guys, with that, we will go ahead and call it a night. Again, thank you very much for being on here tonight. Catfish says, well, Dennis trying to get rid of us. Oh, Catfish, I do not want to get rid of any of you guys. You guys have been incredible through all of this, and we're so thankful for each and every one of you. Everything you guys do to help find the missing loved ones. You guys have just been amazing. So, guys, with that, we'll try to go live again before Christmas, but we'll keep you updated, give you all a heads up. So, guys, check out the links down in the video description. Check out the other channels. And until next time, you guys stay safe, and we'll catch you down the road.